Welcome to Freaky Fauna Friday, where every Friday we take a little time and explore some of the freaks of nature from around the planet we cherish so deeply. So please, jump aboard and let's explore the wilds together.
Oh, yes, this is wonderful.
Welcome back to Freaky Fauna Friday. So, as the first full week of the new year, and we're recording this in reverse, so Jensen has no idea what's happening. But we're going to go over a really, really fascinating animal discovered by what many would argue the most moving conservationist ever.
Well, before you say that, who are you again?
The great and peaceful Mr. E.
And I'm Jay.
So this whole week has been about saving animals, conservation, the new year, how to start it off right, and all that. So for Freaky Fauna, we're going to do the Irwin's turtle.
Steve Irwin's?
Yeah, he actually discovered this turtle, which we'll get to.
Ah, so it's not like his pet, like the family pet?
No, it's an actual extremely rare species.
Wow.
The Irwin's turtle. The Irwin's turtle, Elastai irwini, are a rare species of freshwater turtle in the family Cylidae. The species is endemic to Australia, originating from the lower region of the Burken River. The Burken, something like that.
Oh, no.
It's Australian.
Okay.
River area. So yeah, it's a little turtle. So Steve Irwin and his father, Bob Irwin, spotted a specimen of E. Irwin on a crocodile catching trip in the river in the 1990s.
Oh, wow. Okay.
They had never seen this turtle before. They were very fascinated. They're like, these two guys, both, I don't know if you know much about his dad, Bob, but both extreme. That's who got him to love reptiles. And
Right.
all that,
Huge conservation.
Both of them.
Yeah.
So when they came across a turtle that they could not ID, they were very excited. So they co-discovered it. Famed zoologist and TV personality Steve Irwin took pictures, sent them off to turtle expert John Cann, who verified that it was indeed a completely new species.
All right.
The new species was then named after the father and the son duo.
The Irwins.
Yep. So that's the first one they seen and they released it. They took pictures of it, released it, and sent it to a turtle expert. And John was like, "Yeah, that's not a known species." So the female of the species has a pale head with a yellowish horn sheath, like a crown on its head.
Okay.
It's like an extra osteoderm. The pale color present in the females of the species is due to the lack of the multiple pigments, which affect essentially all parts of the body. These individuals are known for their sturdy skulls, which is supported by a narrow muscle called a petrogolion, creating a shield around their skull and providing normal jaw functions. They have this muscle that kind of comes off their neck and wraps around their head, and so they can have basically a little battering ram, but they can also use it to bite.
That sounds kind of freaky.
Yeah, they're weird. It's going to be not a super, super short one, but yeah, so it was discovered by Steve and Bob. It's very odd looking. But yeah, only up until recently, only a couple individuals are known.
I got to see a picture of this thing.
There's only a couple pictures. They're very fascinating. They're really, really a weird looking turtle. Respiration. E. Irwin, like some other turtle species, can breathe underwater by taking water into their cloaca. You ever heard this thing, turtles breathe through their butt?
Yeah.
It's not really true, but what they're doing is the cloaca is a cavity at the end of the digestive tract containing a chamber that has almost a gill-like function, which allows for the diffusion of oxygen.
Wow, okay.
So a lot of turtles, alligator snapping turtles and common snappers will lay through the ice all year, like under the ice. They don't breathe for 6 months at a time sometimes. Yep. So they can absorb oxygen through their skin. And so they're just opening this area up. These guys specifically, some turtles will actually open their cloacas up because the skin will allow the diffusion of oxygen more efficiently.
So they are breathing through their butt.
Kinda, not really.
I mean,
they're not but they're more just exposing the skin just to diffuse oxygen.
Right, yeah. Breathing as in the sense of how fish breathe.
And these guys even take it a step further where they have a structure that kind of does this.
Okay.
Without the structure, the species of turtle would not be able to stay underwater for extremely long periods of time. Irwin turtles need to live in a source of water that has plenty of oxygen. If the water has too low of oxygen levels, and filled with contaminants, the turtle has a lower chance of survival.
Ooh, so what would you on this indicator species
It'd
scale?
be a 5. I mean, it's critically endangered.
Wow.
I'm
Okay.
taking a drink. You talk.
Well, that's good. Do you ever score turtles on those or no?
No, it's different.
Okay.
Reptiles and amphibians fall under a different kind of thing.
Oh, then fish.
They're kind of like a bonus.
Hmm.
Like we don't use amphibians most of the time because they're already gone by the time we get there.
Right. Yeah. If it's bad quality, the amphibians are already gone.
I mean, it's not even has to be like super bad. Amphibians are so sensitive.
Right.
So
Exactly.
are turtles. Turtles are pretty, depending on their species of turtle, can be very sensitive as well.
So if you got good like turtle species in your water, you got probably decent water.
Yeah, as long as it's not a painted turtle or a common snapper, it probably counts for something good
Okay. Cool.
because they really don't care.
Yeah. They're like the largemouth bass of the.
Of the
the
reptile
turtle.
world.
Yeah.
So yeah, any questions so far?
Oh, these are pretty neat.
He said there's not a ton about these guys because they're very new species to science. They've only been a handful have been seen. So threats to the Irwin's turtle. The habitat of the Irwin's turtle has been impacted by construction of the Barracan River Dam, which has caused a decline in the water quality of the river. Poor water quality makes it very hard for the species to survive and reproduce. Plans for the construction of the Urinin Dam would cause further impacts in habitat construction or destruction. So these guys were probably on the edge of extinction. These guys were just about out the door when Bob and Steve
Found them.
found one. They found one.
One. Yeah.
And they were pretty much they were going to be wiped out. If it wasn't for Steve's son, which I'm pulling up a separate thing, so you talk for a second.
Like the one that from the show, the one that's still doing the stuff today.
Yes.
Okay. I know his name, Jack.
It's
Right.
not Jack.
It's not.
No, it's give me a second. It's not Jack.
I thought that was his name. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. Because you got Steve and
I
his. Think what?
It's Robert Jr.
Robert. Yeah, I
Yeah.
guess I was close.
He's named after Steve's dad.
Yeah. Who's Jack?
I don't know.
I don't know either.
I don't know anybody in the Irwin family named Jack.
Jack Irwin.
Okay. So Robert has been the first person ever to successfully breed these rare turtles.
Wow. Okay. Now we're getting somewhere.
On Sunday, and this is let me see what year this was. This was just this year. He just bred them successfully this year. On Sunday, October 16th, Robert Irwin, the son of the late great wildlife advocate Steve Irwin and zookeeper and conservationist in his own right, shared a TikTok that he achieved a professional milestone and is deeply personally rooted. The milestone? Irwin Jr. successfully hatched the first baby Irwin's turtle ever in captivity.
That's really amazing.
The turtle species his own father discovered many years before his death. Since discovery in 1990, no zoo has yet to breed this species. 33 years ago, Robert's late dad found a female Irwin's turtle, like we already talked about, in southern Queensland, Australia, where the species is native to, per the Australian National Aquarium. The scientists who collected the turtles from him then conducted research on the newfound species, named it after Steve and his father. Now, decades after the turtle was discovered by his father, the first Irwin's turtle had been hatched in a zoo anywhere in the world, and it was Robert Jr.
That's so cool.
So yeah, it was. It's crazy. They do not breed well in captivity.
Yeah.
They've been trying to do this for 33 years.
It takes an Irwin.
I mean, it did. It took Robert Jr. forever to get him to breed. And I'm trying to find if I can find. Here's on the highlights. Okay, he says this is one of the highlights of his entire life. Robert shares on his TikTok videos as holding a baby Irwin's turtle, tiny and absolutely adorable in his hand. It's hard to believe. And one of the most special moments ever in the Australian Zoo. This is the very first ever Irwin's turtle ever hatched in any zoological foundation anywhere in the world. The species of turtle that my dad originally discovered is out of this world. And for the first time, we got a little baby, and it's right now. He's getting the first swim in his brand new pond. It's a little slice of the wild. Irwin then dropped the baby turtle into the water where you can watch it swim and everything, hoping to reach adulthood. So they have a small colony that they're trying to get to reproduce.
Yeah.
You can look up these videos of Robert Jr. with his turtles. They're absolutely tiny. Did you look at pictures of the Irwin's turtle?
Yep.
They're pretty cool looking.
They are. They're neat.
So, and conservation story from start to finish. Because without Steve first discovering them, Stephen and his dad, Robert,
Yep.
Bob, discovering them in the beginning, they would be extinct.
Absolutely, yeah.
They would not have made it out of the 90s.
Yeah.
Because this area was getting highly impacted by dams.
Hmm.
And it was there were a lot of crocodiles. So there's not a lot of research going into it.
Gotcha.
It's not like people here in America confuse them with American, like alligator behavior. Saltwater crocodiles will eat you.
Whole different animal.
They would
Literally.
I just seen a guy who was an American with like a paddleboard
Uh-huh.
putting in at a launch in Australia, and these Australians are on the dock fishing, just screaming at him like, they're like, you're an idiot.
There's a croc
There's
right there?
3 signs.
Oh, gotcha.
They say there's crocodile recently sighted here, nobody under the water.
Yeah.
And he's like, he's going to eat you, and they're going to blame him.
Yeah.
And he's like, I didn't see any signs. There's big, and you can see in the video, there's this huge, like 4-foot sign that has a big crocodile on it.
Yeah.
And the water is not clear.
Right. Just murky, muddy water.
And they're by a fish cleaning station.
Oh, great. So they're right there.
And that's why they're like, we clean fish here.
Yeah.
They hang out here.
Yeah.
They're big crocodiles.
What's that called? Darwin's, I forget.
It's just natural selection.
Natural selection. There we go.
They have really pretty faces, these Irwin's turtles. I think they're kind of related to side neck turtles, stuff like that, which have the big, oversized heads.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm trying to. The males have a little bit more color than the females do, but there's really just. I mean, this is it. There's just nothing else about them.
How recently was that turtle hatched?
This year.
Just this year. That's crazy.
October.
That is crazy. So yeah, a full circle family conservation story on this one animal. I mean, how often does that ever happen? A 3-generation.
Yeah. I mean, actually,
I don't know.
Nuts.
It is. It's really awesome. I can't put it into words like how significant that is.
So I just with some of the episodes previously this week, I wanted to put one out here to show you that some of these species can be saved from the brink and brought back. And the family never gave up. 33 years.
Yeah.
Of never having these turtles breed.
And still going.
Which is weird because the family group they belong to normally breeds very well in captivity.
Okay.
The whole group is not, is capped actually in like the pet trade. Some of the other cousins are kept in the pet trade because they're so easy to breed. So it's very odd to have one like the outlier.
Well, I can imagine though living your whole, I guess, our known life of them, not being in captivity and then having that switch over. It's probably very stressful.
Like I said, we don't know how long they live. I can look up an estimate, but nobody knows. So keep in mind, like 33 years they've had them in captivity.
Is that the same one that they discovered?
I don't think it was the exact same first female. But I know in the first couple of years they collected only a couple dozen.
Yeah.
I mean, that's it.
That's nuts. That's so cool though. Yep. I didn't know Steve Irwin discovered a brand new turtle with his dad, and not only that, his son then took the reins and got it to reproduce. That's amazing.
So yeah, that was coming down to the wire because they think they can only live to be about 35 to 40 years old.
Wow.
Like estimating other species in the same family group. Yeah, I mean, they're very sensitive. They've lost a couple just due to trying to figure out husbandry.
Yeah.
Which is very difficult in a brand new species. Anybody knows, like, if you take wild animals out of, reptiles specifically, out of the wild into captivity, a lot of times they'll die the first 3 weeks.
Yeah.
And it's mostly parasite load.
Okay.
Reptiles, however, a lot of parasites that are hanging on. And the second that the immune system is compromised, like by stress, it'll just kill them or wreck them. So to have these animals make it in captivity for 30 years and then reproduce finally.
That's pretty amazing.
It gets easier every generation.
Okay.
So this is the first really big step. And I think he only hatched, let me look, I think only one hatched. But their family group doesn't lay big groups of eggs.
Okay.
I think it's only 3 or 4 eggs they lay.
Not like 100 or something.
No, and some, sea turtles and stuff like that lay hundreds of eggs.
Right.
Some even tortoise species only lay 1 or 2.
1 or 2, yeah.
They're rather
like in their lifetime or
no, at a time.
Oh, okay.
In a season, in a cycle.
I was gonna say.
I think pancake tortoises are one that only lays 1 egg, and if you look at their body shape, it makes sense.
See why? Yeah. There's not much other room in there for.
But they lay 1 big egg.
Yeah.
Because they want their babies to hatch out as big as possible, so they get out of predators faster.
Oh, okay.
Let me look up how many hatched.
Oh, from Robert's the Irwin turtle.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's pretty awesome. This is definitely one up.
I only remember seeing the one in the video.
Oh, okay, the one that hatched. I mean, I bet if it's that difficult.
Oh, I'm wrong.
Oh.
They've hatched 40 this year.
40?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, dang. Okay.
So it looks like they had. I'm trying to read. You could talk for a second.
Well, way to go, Robert. It sounds like he's got something set up just right.
So the plan is to keep half of them and release the other half into designated habitat wild areas.
Oh, awesome.
And they're keeping the 40 or keeping 20 basically of this first year's hatch for more reproduction.
We need to get Robert on the show and just tell us about this journey. If anyone listening out there, Freaky Fauna Friday, if you got any contacts with Robert Irwin,
I don't think I could handle it. He does podcast. He does.
Yeah, no, that would be really, really cool.
I don't know him, but as far as I can tell, he's super nice.
Yeah, I mean, he's an Irwin. What do you expect?
It'd be very hard not to be.
Yeah. No, that'd be cool. It'd be our first guest on Freaky Fauna Friday.
He would never do it, but can you imagine Steve Irwin wrestling another human?
Steve Irwin or Robert?
Steve.
Okay, yeah.
Watch him jump on like those 19-foot saltwater crocodiles, but hanging on and like getting their head nailed down and stuff like that.
That would have been interesting. Imagine that, like nowadays, like, with all the UFC and all that stuff, like there's a grappling match and it's, the top heavyweight champion versus Steve Irwin. He's just wearing
win.
I know, he's wearing his khaki shorts and vest and everything. Just no like athletic getup. It's the boots and everything. He just pounces on him and
just pins you down.
He holds you down and hog ties you. Crikey.
So while we're talking about Steve, you remember we did an episode a while ago about the inland taipan.
Yes.
World's most venomous snake.
Huh?
And I just was watching a video, and Steve had the only nasty one ever.
Okay.
Because we talked about the coastal taipan, which has much, much less potent venom, but is much angrier snake, more likely to bite when altercated.
Aggressive.
I wouldn't even say aggressive. I mean, don't pick it up.
Okay, fair enough.
It's more defensive. When the inland taipan is set, you can pick them up and move them a lot of times.
Yeah.
They really don't care.
They're a chill deal.
But he's talking about, snakes, each bite of the snake can kill 110 men, and it's just swinging at him and trying to nail him. And he's just talking, and he's just looking at the camera talking, and you just see this thing's head keep coming into the camera as it's trying to nail him, and just like, that is a different type of human.
Yeah, it is.
I mean,
confidence.
He's holding the most venomous snake on the planet. It's absolutely trying to murder him.
And he's teaching you about it.
And he's like, yeah, look, he's just upset. He's just mad I picked him up.
Yeah.
And he's like, if I would have never picked him up, he would have just gone on his day and never looked back at a person. But yeah, so thank you, Steve. This has been the Irwin's Turtle. Bindi and Robert are both out there doing stuff right now.
Yes, amazing people.
I know Bindi's had, I think, at least one child.
Oh, cool. Okay.
This a while ago. But yeah, they're still with the zoo, and the Australian Zoo and Reptile Park is still doing amazing. That's on my bucket list. If we ever go to Australia, I have to go to it.
Yep, got to.
I remember when Steve and his dad did the big crocodile out front.
When they did what? They
have a giant wooden crocodile.
Okay.
Out in the parking lot. Steve and his dad carved that with a chainsaw.
Oh, wow. Okay.
They dragged a big fallen tree to the middle of the parking lot, and they just sit there, and they were carving it with and it looks really good. And I don't think he's ever carved anything with a chainsaw.
I was just saying, I didn't know he's an artist, too.
I don't think he is.
He can do everything.
And he's definitely that kind of motivation. He fought the CIA and won.
There you go.
Remember the movie?
No, I don't.
It was just
okay.
a spy drone or spy satellite had fallen, and the crocodile swallowed it.
Gotcha.
So the CIA was trying to kill the crocodile.
Gotcha. That's what the movie was about?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because it was just...
I don't know if I ever saw it. If I did, I was a kid.
It's a pretty good movie.
I was a little kid. I don't remember.
All right, guys. So just remember when you go out today, find something. Take your kids out to some of these conservation sites. I don't care where you live in this country, unless you're out in the desert or something like that, and they're still there. But you can go to these smaller conservation areas. You can meet people that are doing active conservation work. Most of the time, they have public hours or they have scheduled dates. A lot of the companies I worked for did that, where you come in and see stuff. Like we would set up actual, like, I wouldn't call them festivals, like mini little festivals. When we would go out to like Cincinnati or something like that.
Yeah.
We'd be like, well, we're going to take a day and we'll set it up so you guys, to make people care for their watersheds.
Okay.
To show them some of the animals that live there and what could live there and stuff like that.
They appreciate it a little bit more. Take a little more
it's
conscious.
Hard once there's not a face to it. You know, you don't see a face to it. But when you see these animals that are trying to live there, and it's crazy to me. I worked with aquatics, how people don't realize it. That's your drinking water.
Right. Yeah.
And the better it is, only benefits you.
Mm-hmm.
That's been my big thing with like the whole climate change and all that stuff. Like, I don't care. It doesn't matter because the only result is the Earth's going to be better. Like if you start doing the cleanup protocols and you start getting plastics out of the ocean and stuff.
For sure. That.
Like, well, does that really affect us? Yes.
Right. Yeah.
There's microplastics in the bottom of the ocean. inside
Not
of
good.
crustaceans that are 7 miles down.
Not good.
All right. I have been the great and peaceful Mr. E.
And I've been Jay.
Happy New Year, guys. Bye.
Thank you for listening to Freaky Fauna Friday. If you want to help the podcast grow, remember to share and give it a 5-star review.